It began late last week. The president, seeing his poll numbers drop like a stone, has now sent out his surrogates, and in particular Vice President Joe Biden, to now make the claim that had Mitt Romney been the president of the United States, when our Navy SEALs were closing in on Osama bin Laden, that Mitt Romney would not have given the order to assassinate and kill bin Laden. That Barack Obama deserves full credit, full praise for making the decision to take the mastermind of 9/11 out. Here is Biden on Thursday on the campaign stump saying, you know what? Apparently 4 years ago, Mitt Romney said he would not kill Osama bin Laden. Boys, roll the Biden clip.
Governor Romney was asked what he would do about bin Laden. He said, quote, "It's not worth moving heaven and earth, spending billions of dollars just to catch one person."
To put a context to what Joe Biden was saying, because they're obviously exaggerating and skewing the record for their own crass partisan ends. In a debate in 2007, when Romney was first running for the presidency in the Republican primary, which he eventually lost to John McCain, what he said was, it's not worth moving heaven and earth and squandering billions upon billions upon billions of dollars simply to find one man. Because killing that one man, Osama bin Laden, will not and would not end the war on terror. You have to fight to win the war, not just focus on one man. But that doesn't matter. Context doesn't matter. The truth doesn't matter. And so on the campaign stump this weekend, reporters caught up with Mitt Romney and they asked him point blank, Mr. Governor, would you, if you were president, would you have given the order to kill Osama bin Laden? Yes or no? And here is what Romney said. Boys, roll it.
Of course.
You would have given the order, Governor?
Well, of course. Even Jimmy Carter would have given that order.
I mean, I got to say, that was a good line. I got to give Mitt credit on that one. That was a good line, that even Jimmy Carter would have given the order. And he's right. Jimmy Carter would have given the order. And here is the backstory that nobody in the mainstream media is willing to tell you, the listeners of the Savage Nation and the American people. So I will tell you. Through my sources in the administration and through other press accounts that have slowly leaked out, here is what truly happened. May of last year, when our soldiers, our Navy SEALs, surrounded bin Laden and gunned him down like the dog that he was for the mastermind of the murder of 3,000 Americans on September 11, 2001. Obama is told by Leon Panetta, who was then director of the CIA, Mr. President, we have Osama bin Laden. We have him in our crosshairs. We've located him. He's in a compound in Pakistan. We know where he is. We know the compound. Not only do we know where he is and we know the compound, we know how it's guarded. We know how it's fortified. We have sent in our top Navy SEALs. They're already on their way. Mr. President, they're in crossing Pakistan airspace. They can get him in 45 minutes. We need for you to give us the green light. And instead of saying yes, I want you to think about this, because this is the kind of man we have in the Oval Office. I want you to know who Barack Obama truly is. Instead of saying yes, many of his top advisors are telling him, Mr. President, look at the potential political fallout. What if we don't get him? What if we miss? What if he escapes? It's going to cost you your re-election, Mr. President. Mr. President, the Pakistanis haven't been alerted about this. The post-Musharraf government could be up in arms. We could have jihadists being inflamed by this. This could incite terrorist attacks on American troops all over the world, including Afghanistan. Be careful, Mr. President. We may not want to touch this. Panetta is begging the president, Mr. President, we need an order. And here is what he said. Obama says, I will sleep on it. I will sleep on it. You will sleep on it? This man who has the blood of 3,000 Americans on his hands? The greatest war criminal in the world? Who committed the greatest atrocity on American soil in our history? Single act of atrocity? And you're sleeping on it? Next morning, Panetta again is on the door. Mr. President, time is running out. It's been almost 24 hours. Somebody may tip off bin Laden. He may get away. And it was Panetta who practically twisted Barack Obama's arm and said, Mr. President, we need a green light now before it's too late. And finally, under pressure from Panetta and the pressure from the chiefs of staff and the top military brass, this guy finally caves and gives the order. Now, all of a sudden, he's Caesar. Now, all of a sudden, he's George Washington. Now, all of a sudden, he's Harry Truman or Dwight Eisenhower. Now, he's the man with the political courage and the guts, the Iron Man, the statesman who killed Osama bin Laden when he lost his nerves, when he was practically cracking up in the Oval Office because he couldn't make a decision. It's unbelievable, the hypocrisy in this administration. And so again today, with the Japanese Prime Minister by his side at a news conference, the press corps now sensing they could humiliate Romney with this issue. They keep now drumming this issue up. Mr. President, who do you think deserves credit for the killing of Osama bin Laden? Look at how he answers, how he's basically hinting and intimating. You know, if Romney was there, it wouldn't have been Romney. Romney wouldn't have killed him, but I did. Boys, roll the clip.
Your likely opponent says anybody would have made that call, even Jimmy Carter. So I'm curious to see what you would say about that.
As far as my personal role and what other folks would do, I just recommend that everybody take a look at people's previous statements in terms of whether they thought it was appropriate to go into Pakistan and take out bin Laden. I assume that people meant what they said when they said it. That's been at least my practice. I said that I'd go after bin Laden if we had a clear shot at him, and I did.
Basically saying Romney wouldn't have done it. Now, let me ask you this. Do you honestly believe that any red-blooded American where your top military and national security advisors come up to you in the Oval Office, in the White House, any red-blooded American president, and they say, Mr. President, we have Osama bin Laden on a silver platter. We know where he is. Our boys are on the way. They could kill him in 45 minutes. Who would say no? The only guy that would even hesitate is the man currently in the White House. And now he's using this for cheap political purposes, for crass partisan gain, to try to help win himself re-election in 2012. He really has one accomplishment in the last 3.5 years. One serious, credible accomplishment. Bin Laden is dead. And we Republicans and Democrats, and we conservatives and liberals, we Americans, we are divided on everything. We don't agree on anything. But there's one thing that has unified us. Was that night when the news came out that barbarian, that butcher, finally got his due and was shot dead. The whole country rang out in celebration. In baseball games, at baseball parks, at bars, people began singing patriotic songs. We were no longer just liberals and conservatives, Republicans and Democrats, red state and blue state. For once in the last 10 years, we were Americans. It was the one thing that unified us. And even this, he's going to politicize. Even this, he's going to use as a cynical attempt to win re-election in November 2012. Mr. President, have you no shame? I think this is a sign of desperation. They have nothing else to run on. The economy's in the tank. The deficit is skyrocketing. Inflation is up. We are losing the war in Afghanistan. We've essentially lost the war in Iraq. The Russians are kicking us around. The Chinese are kicking us around. Radical Islam is on the march. Iran is on the verge of a nuclear bomb. And so what does this guy have to run on? Except we killed bin Laden. I got bin Laden. And like a child pointing at Mitt Romney saying, and you wouldn't have gotten him. Nah, 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 nah. You didn't get bin Laden. I did, and Mitt wouldn't have pulled the trigger. That's it. That's all they have is bin Laden and demagoguery. And that's all they're going to campaign on now until November.